It is Independence Day week here on AG the channel, and as the tradition has gone here for the past couple of years, we arrive here at the Chicagoland Speedway, a 1.5 mile track here in Joliet, Illinois. And of course, we got the Wawa Cup Series race going to be premiering on Independence Day itself. We got the Haas IndyCar Series going to be premiering just the day before. But tonight, we have the CSX IndyLights Series that'll be taking to the track here at Chicagoland for their penultimate race of the season. It's been an interesting season so far, and it's been a fun season so far here in the CSX IndyLights Series. And we got two more winners to decide before we eventually crown a champion. And it has been a very interesting championship battle, to say the least, and it shook up quite a bit after the last race out at Michigan International Speedway. How will things play out here tonight? We'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down here tonight after 33 laps around the Chicagoland Speedway. Welcome to the Windy City 80K here from the Chicagoland Speedway. What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to the Windy City 80K here at the Chicagoland Speedway. Race number 5 of 6 here in the 2025 CSX IndyLights Series season. And like I said, what a season it has been so far. It's been an interesting season, but it has been very fun so far up to this point, and it has produced a really fun championship battle to watch. And like I said, just got 2 more races to decide here before we crown a champion, and it's definitely could potentially swing in just about anybody's favor at this point. And a lot of shakeups going on throughout the season, especially at the last race out at the Michigan International Speedway, where we saw Charlie Davenport go to victory lane and had a bit of a shakeup in the point standings. Your points leader, Roberto Crown Jr., did not have the best outing at Michigan and lost quite a chunk of his points lead to the number 15 of Michael Lewis. But yeah, we'll have to see how everything will shake out here tonight from the Chicagoland Speedway. Still a lot of time left in the season for a lot to shake up, and with everybody kind of so bunched up together, a lot can still happen. So it'll definitely be really interesting to see what all does end up going down here for these final 2 races. And of course here tonight, after 33 laps around the Chicagoland Speedway here for the Windy City 80K. Really quickly before going in though, we're going to take a quick look here at your point standings coming into the penultimate race here, the 2025 CSX IndyLights Series season. Of course, like I mentioned, Roberto Crown Jr., while not the best of outings at Michigan, still holds on to the points lead, but just by 4 points over the number 15 of Michael Lewis. That points gap is really tight, and it doesn't really let up the further you go on down. Of course, Casey Kojima coming in 3rd in the standings is only 8 points back to Roberto Crown Jr. Josh Marzak is 4th, only 10 back. Hallie Anderson Jr. 5th, only 18 back. Still got a lot of spots up for grabs here. And then, of course, looking further on down, you got Felix Mayer coming in 6th in points, 25 back. Jonathan Wallen comes in 7th, tied with Felix Mayer, 25 back. Charlie Davenport, your winner at the Michigan International Speedway, comes in 8th in points, 26 back. And we have a tie for 9th as well between Andrew Williams and Nathan Stapleton, who are both 28 points back. So like I said, the points are still pretty tight heading in here to the penultimate race of the season. So yeah, still a lot up for grabs here, and we'll have to see how everything will shake out here tonight after 33 laps here from the Chicagoland Speedway. But mentioning Andrew Williams and Nathan Stapleton in a tie for 9th place in points, well, that's the 2 cars here starting on the front row, as Andrew Williams nabs the pole and Nathan Stapleton starting alongside there in the 2nd position. Your points leader, Roberto Crown Jr., not the best qualifying position there. He starts towards the back along with the 15 of Michael Lewis. So your car is kind of up there in points, kind of spread out throughout the field. So it'll be interesting to see who ends up where as this race goes along. But we still have a race to put on here tonight. Got 33 laps ahead of us. Anything can happen. We'll just have to wait and see what all goes down here at the Windy City 80K here from the Chicagoland Speedway. But with all that being said, enough yapping from me. I think it's about time we get these guys rolling here from the Chicagoland Speedway. And as they do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting lineup for the Windy City 80K here from the Chicagoland Speedway. Of course, as aforementioned on the pole, it's the number 17 of Andrew Williams, starting alongside the number 22, the big staple, Nathan Stapleton. Row number 2, we find the number 26 of Matthew Hubert. He's kind of been on the struggle bus so far this season. Nice to see him qualify well. Have a good shot here at a good points finish here today, alongside the number 2 of Corey Case. Row 3, we got the number 7 of Charlie Davenport, your Michigan winner, starting alongside 3rd in points there, the number 19 of Casey Kojima. Row 3, we have the number 6 of Allen Anderson Jr. starting alongside the 18 of Ladovic Charette. Row 5, we have the number 10 of Andrew Miller starting alongside the 4 of Josh Marzak. Row 6 there, right outside the top 10, you got the 8 of Felix Mayer and the 20 of Jonathan Wong. Then you have the number 15 of Michael Lewis starting alongside the 11 of Roberto Brown Jr., your 2 closely knitted drivers there going for the title. And then you got the number 14 of Philip Torres there rounding out the grid. Race info, of course, will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Got a 33 lap ahead of us here today. The usual 15 entries, and we won't quite reach the pit cycle, of course. In the IndyCar Series, it'll come around lap 36 to 40, so won't quite reach that. So it'll be green all the way to the finish. So it'll definitely be interesting to see who will have a little win here tonight from the Chicagoland Speedway. We'll just have to see. The pace car makes a left-hand turn onto the pit lane. And it's going to be the 17 of Andrew Williams and the 22 of Nathan Stapleton who's going to lead us down the front straightaway and to the green flag. We're racing here in the Windy City 80K here from the Chicagoland Speedway. The penultimate race of the season is underway. Three wide at the middle of the pack as Casey Kojima might have even got the wall there off of turn number 4. And that 19, or actually, yeah, that is the 19 there. Stuck up all the way on the outside, is losing some spots here early on in the going. Honestly, some might be an understatement as that 19 is seemingly on a one-way ticket to the back of the field, and Kojima not the start that they wanted to this race as they plummet all the way down to the 15th position in that number 19. Definitely not what Kojima needed there, but still a long ways left to go in this race. But the 17 of Andrew Williams is going to hold on and lead the opening lap, and he continues to lead so far here from Chicagoland. Matthew Hubert's going to settle there in the 2nd position. 3rd is the 6 of Allen Anderson Jr. And you got the 10 of Andrew Miller and the 8 of Felix Mayer rounding out your top 10. Michael Lewis is off to a stalking start there. And that number 15 already up into the 7th position. Nathan Stapleton started on the outside pole there, kind of slipping back down that outside lane. The inside is where you want to be here in the early stages of this race. Once the track gets rubbered in a little bit, you can hold your own a little bit on that outside as Stapleton catches the wall there off of turn number 4. Didn't hit it that hard, though, so we should be alright. No harm, no foul there, but he is going to lose a bit of momentum. Like I was saying, once that outside gets rubbered in a little bit, you can hold your own a little bit, but still, that inside lane is where you want to be, and that's where a lot of the passes are going to be made here tonight. We're seeing a lot of passing here, especially towards the back of the field, as everybody still tries to kind of go for what they can here in the early stages of this race. Roberto Crown Jr. started there on the outside towards the back of the field. Not the best start for him, but he's trying to make up some ground here. Now trying to get by the 14 here of Philip Torres, as Stapleton trying to make up some ground that he lost as he dives to the inside of the 20 of Jonathan Wong. But as things start to settle down here from the Chicagoland Speedway, it is still the 17 of Andrew Williams out in front, being trailed there by the 26 of Matthew Hubert, Allen Anderson Jr., Andrew Miller, and Felix Mayer still currently your top 5. Of course, Chicagoland, a very technical racetrack. Like I said, well, you can hold your own on the outside if you do go side by side. Mostly you will see everybody just kind of run that bottom groove unless they are making a pass. So you really got to set your moves up well at this racetrack if you do want to take a spot from somebody. And that 26 of Matthew Hubert looking to potentially close in here to the 17 of Andrew Williams. Lost a little bit of time that last time by, but for the past couple of laps, he's been slowly reeling in that 17 of Andrew Williams, maybe trying to set something up there on that number 17. Come back through the field here once again. Roberto Crown Jr. still side by side there with the 18 of Ludovic Charette. Casey Kojima right back there behind the number 11, maybe trying to help Roberto through there. And I'm sure Michael Lewis is definitely loving this as he currently runs in the 7th position. I do believe where everybody is running right now, this probably would give Lewis the points lead. Or I guess somebody else to also watch out for will be the 6 of Hallie Anderson Jr. Currently running in the 3rd position, only enters this race 18 points behind. So if things kind of stay the same way they are right now, Anderson Jr. could definitely make some serious noise here with this finish here tonight if she can hold on to it. Or if they can hold on to it, and Anderson Jr. can maybe be going for a championship at the Watkinsville International Raceway if things play out their way. But just now getting to a third of the way through this race at Chicagoland. It's a very fast racetrack, so honestly, these guys have been flying around this racetrack, and it's gone by kind of quickly, but still got 2/3 of this race left to go. Seeing at the top left, average speed for these guys, 213 miles an hour. So they're absolutely ripping around here, which is why they kind of just like to keep to that one groove, and why it's just such a technical racetrack to make moves and pass people at. Of course, y'all remember the Haas IndyCar Series race last year where Brennan Wilmington pretty much dominated an American Motorsports 1-2, but Logan Williams kind of stayed tucked in behind his teammate until 2 laps to go, where he finally went for his move, past the 34, and ended up taking the race win. It'll be interesting to see what Logan Williams will do in tomorrow's race here at Chicagoland. This racetrack seems to be really plentiful for Logan, especially here in the IndyCar Series. I'll just have to wait and see how it all goes down there in the Haas IndyCar Series tomorrow. But still got a race on our hands here tonight here in the CSX IndyLights Series, and definitely got a lot of storylines developing with where everybody is running right now. Roberto Crown Jr. has gotten past the 18 of Ludovic Charette, and also so has the 19 of Casey Kojima. So Crown now up into the 13th position there. Josh Marzak, one of those guys up there in points, not having the best of runs either, currently running in that 11th position. Everybody kind of fanning out here from Chicagoland. And Matthew Hubert still kind of just trying to stay with that 17 of Andrew Williams. He's kind of lost a little bit of ground since we last talked about him, but he's still staying within reach of the 17 of Williams. If he makes one little slip up, that 26 is definitely going to be right on his gearbox. Now getting to halfway home here from Chicagoland, it's still Williams and Hubert 1-2. Anderson Jr. is in 3rd, but could potentially have some company here. Here comes the number 10 of Andrew Miller, looking to try and close into that 6 machine with Felix Mayer still in 5th. Corey Case 6th, Lewis 7th, Charlie Davenport 8th, Stapleton 9th, Philip Torres still rounds out your top 10. Matthew Hubert closed in a little bit there that last time by to the number 17 of Andrew Williams. Interesting to see when he does try and maybe go for a move. I'm not quite sure. He's not close enough right now, but he has shown that he can draw that 17 in. Did lose quite a bit of time that last time by. Maybe he had a slip up there in either turns 1 or 2 or 3 and 4 potentially. Just doesn't want Andrew Williams to get too far ahead, or else he could potentially run out of time there in that 26. Anderson Jr. there in the 6 might have to start playing defense because the 10 of Andrew Miller starting to kind of hound into that 6 machine of Anderson Jr. Lewis potentially looking to close in here on the 2 of Corey Case. Looking to maybe go for that 6th position. Roberto Crown Jr. kind of in a lane of his own right now there in the 11th or not the 11th, the 13th position. So not looking the best there for that 11 of Roberto Crown Jr. or the 19 of Casey Kojima, as things are running right now. But Hubert, he's kind of closed in the 10th that he lost, but you actually kind of saw it there. Checked up quite a bit there going into 3 and 4. Might have lost a little bit of time because of that. And indeed he did. That's kind of what we were talking about. Could have been what Hubert done a couple of laps ago to lose that time in the first place. And that's a 10th that he's going to have to gain back to the 17 of Andrew Williams if he does want to have a shot at this. And here we go back here. Nathan Stapleton looking to the inside here of the 7 of Charlie Davenport. Not going to be able to get the move done, but here comes the number 14 of Philip Torres looking to try and pounce on the opportunity, but Stapleton sends it deep into the corner. Is going to be able to stay clear there of the number 14. Michael Lewis is all over the gearbox here of the number 2 of Corey Case. And Stapleton still all over the gearbox there, the 7 of Charlie Davenport. As Stapleton looks to the inside here going into turns 1 and 2. And it looks like this attempt is going to be a lot more successful than the last, as Stapleton is going to get by the number 7 of Davenport there and move himself up into the 8th position. Lewis still all over the back bumper of the number 2 of Corey Case. Looking to try and find the right opportunity to pounce, but he doesn't want to wait too late, as time is starting to run out here from the Chicagoland Speedway this time by. Hang on, Michael Lewis. I thought he was going to take a peek there. He is going to take a peek as Case washes up the racetrack a little bit. He's going to be able to get to the inside of him. Not quite, and that kind of jammed both of them up, as here comes the 22 of Stapleton. Peeking low to the inside. Lewis is going to take his line away, and also simultaneously going to try and look to the inside of the number 2 machine. And here he goes down the backstretch. Michael Lewis peeks down to the inside of the number 2 of Corey Case, looking to take the 6th position away. Stapleton in the 22 going to try and follow in behind. Potentially so is the number 7 of Charlie Davenport. Now Stapleton looking to the inside of Michael Lewis. And how about that for Stapleton? Up into 6th. Lewis now under fire from both Case and Charlie Davenport. Davenport's going to get to the inside here down the back straightaway. Corey Case might also get to the inside as well. They nearly touch coming off of turn number 4. And Lewis kind of getting freight trained here on the outside as Case gets to the inside. Philip Torres now is going to get to the inside. And with just a couple of laps to go, it's all falling apart for the 15 of Michael Lewis. Here comes Josh Marzak in the 4. But Lewis got a good run there on the outside. He's going to hold on for the time being, but he's going to fall all the way back to 9th place. Marzak in the 4, looking on the inside of the 14 of Philip Torres. And up front, Matthew Hubert. He's closed the gap to the 17 of Andrew Williams, but as soon as I say that, he has to check up through turns 3 and 4. He lost quite a bit of time there. If he can close in these last 4 laps, he might be able to take one more swipe at him. It's looking pretty good there for that 17 of Andrew Williams. He's drove a great race there in that number 17. Both of these guys have drove a really great race. They pulled away about 2.2 seconds to the number 6 of Hallie Anderson Jr. Oh, and look back here. How about the 19, Casey Kojima? Oh, and something... No, that's actually the 11 of Crown Jr. I thought that was Michael Lewis there, but they got by the 14 of Philip Torres, so Crown now, I believe, up into 12th, and now he's all over the back bumper here, the number 20 of Jonathan Wong. So looking to limit the damage between himself and that 15 of Michael Lewis. 2 laps to go here from Chicagoland. Andrew Williams extended the gap that last time by to 0.4 of a second. Matthew Hubert's going to have to put a heater of a lap in this time by if he wants to have a shot at it. But here we go. White flag. 1 to go here from Chicagoland. That was a good lap there out of Hubert. Had a good exit there off of turn number 4. He's closing into the number 17. Closing and closing. Can he make a move through 3 and 4? But he has to check up. He's not going to be able to get there. And off of turn number 4, Andrew Williams is going to dominate and win here at Chicagoland. Matthew Hubert's going to come home in second. Michael Lewis there in the 15 is going to come home in 9th. Crown in the 11 comes home in the 12th position. So this points battle is going to be tight. Going into the finale at Watkins Glen, I'm not 100% sure. They might even be tied for the points lead going in. I know there's some differentiation in the points the further on up you are, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see where everybody will sit going into the finale at the Watkins Glen International Raceway. But a very interesting race here tonight from the Chicagoland Speedway, and from the pole, Andrew Williams absolutely dominates and wins the Windy City 80K here from the Chicagoland Speedway. Matthew Hubert, still got to give him a lot of credit. He absolutely gave it his all there, especially there towards the end. Second place finish, definitely nothing to scoff at for that 2016. He's had a rough season, so definitely nice to see Hubert here with a good finish. And Hallie Anderson Jr. coming home with a podium finish there in the 3rd position. Anderson Jr. could potentially throw a wrench into things going into the finale at the Watkins Glen International Raceway. Have to see where everything lines up in the point standings after this, but looking further on down the finishing order, Andrew Miller comes home in 4th. Felix Mayer going to round out your top 5. Nathan Stapleton with a great recovery there at the end comes home in 6th. Charlie Davenport comes home 7th. Corey Case 8th. Michael Lewis comes home in 9th. Josh Marzak will finish and round out your top 10. And, well, folks, I'll throw the points on the screen momentarily right now, and it's about as tight as it could be. Roberto Crown Jr., it's not quite a tie, but only has a 1-point lead to Michael Lewis going into the finale at Watkins Glen. Hallie Anderson Jr. up to 3rd in points, only 5 back. Andrew Williams joins the conversation, jumps up to 4th, only 6 points behind. Then you got Josh Marzak, only 8 back. Casey Kujima, only 9 back. I think those are going to be the guys that are going to be duking it out for the championship at Watkins Glen, but there is still some other guys that could have a mathematical shot that could definitely throw a wrench into things if things go awry, like you got Felix Mayer, you got Andrew Miller, Charlie Davenport, Nathan Stapleton. Should also have a mathematical shot if things do go off the rails at the Watkins Glen International Raceway. But my goodness, this is going to be a finale for the record books at the Watkins Glen International Raceway, which will be going up on Tuesday, August 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the Celsius Grand Prix of New York, the season finale for the 2025 CSX IndyLights Series. And like I said, with how everybody is going to be going into that race, you do not want to miss that. That is going to be a spectacular race, as honestly is usually the case for the Watkins Glen International, and this points battle we got going in is just going to be the cherry on top to it all. So I would definitely keep an eye out for that one on Tuesday, August 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But a very interesting race here from the Chicagoland Speedway, and really put us in an interesting position going into the finale at the Watkins Glen International Raceway. But my goodness, I really don't know what else to say, so honestly, I guess I will just leave it at that. Congratulations to the number 17 of Andrew Williams for dominating the day here at the Chicagoland Speedway. And getting the win here in the Windy City 80K. And thank you all so much for tuning in to the CSX IndyLights Series in general. It's been a very interesting season so far, and definitely interested to see how the finale plays out. Like I said, Tuesday, August 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. But again, thank you all so much for watching, and another congratulations to the number 17 of Andrew Williams, and I will see you all from Watkins Glen. Y'all take care, and as always, y'all have a good one. Here is your point standings going into the finale of the 2025 CSX IndyLights Series.